This is the program that shows you the side of police chase videos they didn't want you to see.
He picked up speed, look at that!
Bungled arrests, kamikaze crooks, and cop-based carnage of all kinds. Welcome to Cops Uncut 2, the real car crash TV.
On my way. Car's on fire.
Coming up, a cop runs from his crook. Mum's been at the sherry again. And so has your school teacher.
Motherfucker, sitting over there with that cocky smile. You need to fucking get the hell out of the police force if you're gonna sit over there like that.
The job of a policeman is all about highs and lows. If Monday is helping a granny cross the road, you can bet that Tuesday will be a shootout in a shopping precinct.
Looks like your license just got off suspension. You kind of forgot to tell me about a couple other tickets you had.
And so it's with a sense of monotony that this officer goes about a routine traffic stop.
I sent the one ticket, money order, to Illinois, and that one over there.
But all is not lost, as we've seen so many times before. A set of flashing blue lights attracts its own excitement. Suddenly, things have livened up considerably.
Moon County 908, you okay?
Now the cop has a bona fide traffic accident on his hands, rather than some boring old unpaid traffic tickets. In the instant replay, we can see that the red truck gets shunted right across the road by the blue one.
Okay, yeah, we got the medics coming, okay? Everybody else okay? Okay.
Thankfully, everyone's all right, especially the cop, who's suddenly in his element. It's moments like these that he's been trained for.
Yep. She okay over there?
No serious injuries, but this lawman has a road blockage on his hands.
Okay.
It's moments like these that the cops live for. His finely honed skills snap into action. Desperate times call for desperate measures, and some swift battlefield promotions are in order.
If you get traffic for me, I'll get rid of that ticket.
The guy who was about to get a ticket suddenly finds himself batting for the other team.
If you can help out with traffic, I'll get rid of that ticket.
He's unofficially deputized to help coordinate the rescue operation.
I'm still shaking my boots. Just help, just get traffic through here.
And in exchange, the excitable officer will drop all charges. It seems like a good deal, so the man stands in the middle of the road waving at passing cars until the ambulance arrives to treat the wounded.
She's in shock.
Okay, we got the medics coming. It'll be a few minutes. These guys are going to help out until the other ones get here. Is anybody else hurt in the vehicle?
I feel that's right now.
In the end, the cop does a good job of making sure that everyone's all right.
Moon County 908. Back seat, she's got some head injuries.
But it's rather absurd that this fellow's tedious ticket transgressions actually caused the distraction that made the two dozy truckers crash in the first place. And it's even more ironic that the original suspect suddenly found himself on the other side of the law.
If you get traffic for me, I'll get rid of that ticket.
Here's one for all you fans of silent black and white comedy. Well, let's just hope that this suspect here has a good sense of humour, because as he's made to walk backwards, kneel down and allow himself to be restrained by the arresting officer, his best buddy, who's still in the car ahead, decides it might be funny to drive off with his motor. Even more amusing is the fact that the policeman chases after the runaway, leaving the suspect behind, handcuffed and alone in the middle of the road.
4551, 4603. I got the one guy hooked up in the middle of the road. The driver took off. I'm in pursuit of him right now.
Suddenly, we've switched genres from slapstick to road movie as the suspect leads the cop deep into the night.
10-4, you are 1083, or is this on your own?
He's handcuffed and standing in the middle of the road. I left him there. The vehicle never took off.
It's not exactly fast-paced action,
10-4, thanks. Our speeds are only about 30 miles an hour.
but there is a slight element of suspense.
He's 10.55 and you may have a gun in the vehicle.
Like so many so-called Hollywood epics we could mention, after a while this chase sequence definitely begins to outstay its welcome. So the pursuing officer attempts to spice it up a bit.
I'm going to try to push him in the ditch.
And tries a few stunts of his own. Sadly, it's not time for the credits to roll just yet. As the glacially slow chase continues, it's in danger of becoming a shaggy dog story. So, as soon as the pursuing officer spots a chance to deliver the punchline, he takes it. And before the show's over, there's just time for one more change of genre. So the cop and his suspect round things off with a very arresting drag act.
Keep your hands right there.
What started as a joke soon turned into a farce. But even the occasional spot of action couldn't stop this police drama from being a total drag.
Taking off again.
Still to come, a housewife hits the hooch. Some Utah kids go off-road. And some stoneheads scarper.
Taking off again.
For policemen, dating is never easy. The long hours mean that you have to take every opportunity to meet a potential partner, like on a routine traffic stop. But this particular lady is not quite what the cop was after. For most men, if your date gets drunk, you quids in, but this lawman Lothario is unimpressed. Even a spot of dancing in the sunshine can't save it for these two. He wants to take her to jail. She wants to go to her place. Maybe one of them just needs to listen more.
Yeah, you are.
You cannot do this.
You are under arrest, okay?
You cannot do this.
Right now you're working on a resisting arrest charge, which is a criminal offense. I'd like you to put your hands...
In her defense, it still seems too early in the relationship for this kind of handcuff action.
You have to
Ma'am.
follow me home.
Ma'am. Ma'am, do not
These
fight me.
first impressions are so important in a relationship and really set the tone for the couple's future. Sadly, this couple certainly seem to be headed in one direction: jail.
Now you're under arrest for resisting. Hands behind your back.
Here's a story from the deep south of the USA, redneck country. Sometimes you have to wonder just how much rednecks are really responsible for their behavior. Sociologists are always using our environment and upbringing as an excuse for daft criminal antics as adults. In the Deep South, rednecks are known to eat a lot of squirrels. One can only presume that this fact had some bearing on this police chase, because the fleeing felon attempts to escape up a tree. One could be forgiven for jumping to the conclusion that he may have had one squirrel pie too many. Drunk test dummies. There's no pleasing some people. I mean, for some peculiar reason, they hate being arrested.
Kids were like fucking treating me like I'm a criminal, putting all this shit on
This
me.
lady has been busted on suspicion of drink driving and is here to take some sobriety tests.
They didn't explain that to me when they fucking put me in the car and put him behind my back.
First impressions of this lady would be that she's an upstanding pillar of the community.
Through the windshield of my car, fire!
But it would appear that she also has a wild streak.
No! I don't like his fucking cocky smile! And I don't like his comments.
The knitted jumper and jumbo glasses may point perhaps to a librarian, but silence is certainly not this lady's strong point.
Give me the goddamn test! And bring the judge in here now! Because you guys are all wrong.
She clearly feels wronged and is keen to prove her innocence.
So what? Give me the heel to toe and whatever test needs to be done. You are a fucking asshole cop. Let me tell you something, you motherfucker. Sitting over there with that cocky smile. You need to fucking...
The female officer finishes the paperwork and prepares to get this slosh librarian to do a heel-to-toe on camera.
Out of this room.
If she really had only 2 drinks, she should be able to pull this off easily.
Can you stand up for Mrs. Park, please? Yes, I will.
When they say you can have 2 drinks and drive, I don't think necking an entire bottle of Tia Maria in 2 gulps counts.
End of the white line. 1, 2, great. Fuck you. I'm doing this. I'm doing this. Don't make it.
Back at the table, she starts to cry. She refuses to do the test, saying she should have a lawyer.
I need you to listen to me, okay, Mrs. Parks? This is the DUI right to counsel. It's the 3rd District Court of Appeals held that a driver who was arrested for...
The cops say different. Not in this county. Drunks don't get lawyers.
Statutes does not have the right to call or meet with an attorney prior to the administration of the breath test.
Why? And I don't
Being a librarian, she's probably read a law book or 2, and she thinks she knows her rights.
There's no, that is illegal.
Ma'am, I need you to go stand up.
Okay, where I need somebody, a court, a judge, or
She just isn't enjoying this whole being arrested thing one bit. The system just isn't built to cope with drunken bookworms.
I have my rights. No, you're a police officer and she's a police lady.
You need to go stand
The cops are completely confused. They can't taser her or threaten her with a beating, or even mace her. It's far more complicated than arresting a violent gang member who you can rough up and throw unconscious into a cell.
The faster we get this over with...
So let's recap. First, she wasn't a criminal.
Treating me like I'm a criminal, putting all this shit on me.
Then she wanted the test.
Give me the goddamn test.
Then she didn't.
Great. Fuck you. I'm doing this. I'm doing this. Don't make it.
But not even a little charm could please this particular pillar of the community when they decided to throw the book at her.
I don't like his smile over there. Believe me, when I go to court, his smile is going to be before the judge. Yes, ma'am.
At first, this footage looks like it might be something out of TV's Most Haunted. But as the spooky floating lights get closer, we can see that they're being caused not by paranormal phenomena, but by a paralytic motorcycle rider. The officer in pursuit isn't going to wait for Mulder and Scully. He decides to deal with the situation himself. And by the way that he valiantly follows the biker all over and occasionally off the road, we can see that this trooper clearly isn't scared of things that go bump in the night. But the boozy rider doesn't seem to fancy sticking around to see where this close encounter is leading, so he disappears into the shrubbery. And once it becomes clear that the suspect has spirited himself away for good, the officer goes to check whether his brief moment of contact with the other side has left any impression on his bumper. Eerily, there isn't a trace, not even a scratch. It's almost as if he was never there.
Taking off again.
The state of Utah is famous for its mountains, ski resorts, and of course, its Mormons.
She's got a quarter-mile lead on us.
Well, there are mountains just on the horizon, and we can safely assume that there are probably 1 or 2 ski resorts up there as well.
He's in the construction zone right now. He's in number 1 lane.
Number 1 lane construction zone 10-4. If you can keep me advised on where the vehicle is.
But as far as Mormons go, it's hard to tell precisely what religious convictions are held by the guy these cops are chasing. There is, however, a word that sounds a bit like Mormon, which might better describe him. If he is a Mormon, perhaps it's polygamy that's made him so fond of having other people around that he's chosen to flee down the busiest road in the Midwest. All of which has allowed the police to catch up with him. A more intelligent felon may have turned off the God channel, tuned into the traffic news and chosen a better escape route. Rather than end up with police cars up his arse as he's forced onto the central reservation. An older, wiser criminal might have realized that this nice long stretch of empty road is too little, too late. But the driver of this car is neither old nor wise. In fact, he's only 15 years old, which is perhaps why he makes the foolish mistake of turning off onto the exit ramp.
Redwood Road. If I can't take her out here, I'm going to abandon her. Stand by. If I can take her out on the ramp, we're going to call it off.
A quiet stretch of road like this is the perfect spot for a pit maneuver.
The first 4 you continue to chase. The rest of you back off. We just pitted them.
At just 15, this young career criminal is clearly no Utah saint. But after a series of silly mistakes that end up getting him rammed off the road, it's obvious this kid is a total Mormon with a silent M.
Taking off again.
Still to come. Infrared runaways. And a dash cam disgrace.
Taking off again.
Atlanta cops suspect that the young occupants of this VW have been inhaling the smoke of the cannabis plant. The cop approaches the car, perhaps hoping to find their post-smoke snacks. Sensing that the roly-poly lawman might be getting too close to their donut stash, the kids take off.
160 now, I got one that's not take off from you. Camp 3 kid called 160. It's going to be a red and white Volkswagen.
But they're not going to get away with the munchies this easily. As far as this cop is concerned, there's going to be a midnight feast in the evidence room tonight, and nothing is going to stand in his way. Convinced that they're traveling at nearly the speed of sound, the kids slow down a little, allowing our sugar-crazed copper to catch up. With other units closing in, the kids realize they have to bail. There's no way they're going to outrun this cop. And where better to make a run for it than 2 large fields of grass? Let's hope they didn't leave the Rizzlers in the car. So while the cop checks for sugary snacks, our high-speed chasing potheads are probably home and dry. A bust of this level should easily yield this cop a pack of tea cakes and probably a large travel tin of mint imperials. Well done.
Taking off again.
After shooting a man at a rap concert, 18-year-old Randale Parks is fleeing the cops on 3 wheels.
Still northbound. Mr. Stopsticks.
Having caused mayhem in a packed nightclub, Randale has moved the party out onto the open road. Police have thrown stop sticks in front of him, but Randale isn't stopping for anyone. Aware of the booby trap set ahead, our man quickly switches to the northbound lane. He loses another tire and his axle starts to burn a hot strip on the tarmac, picked up by the infrared lens.
Just lost another tire.
With his car literally disintegrating, Randale needs to pull in fast and find a place to bail before the traffic cops bust him.
He's turning down to Stone Street.
He pulls over and legs it, but like all classic Cops Uncut escapees, he doesn't have a plan. Unsure of where to go, he heads for the railway tracks. But there's no escaping the chopper coppers who are using a state-of-the-art night vision camera to coordinate the pursuit on the ground.
Behind the warehouse, outside of the warehouse, looks like he's going over to Rosa Jones.
3 cops are on foot chasing, but there's no escaping the chopper hovering above.
Alright, he just stripped his bed shirt. He's in a white t-shirt now. A white shirt.
As more cops close in, Randale starts stripping his clothes off Mission Impossible style, hoping to convince the cops he's just a baffled tourist caught in the crossfire. But it's too late. The officers have surrounded him.
Behind that house, right here. Second car coming up on you.
So where did Randale's plan fall apart? Was it his shooting the man at the club? Was it the 200 witnesses? Maybe the attention-grabbing car, foot and helicopter pursuit? Maybe he'll never work out how he got caught.
I got suspect in custody.
Taking off again.
When Andy Warhol prophesied that each of us would have our 15 minutes of fame, I'm sure he was aware that some of us would waste our moment in the spotlight. Here we have a case in point. This Deep South beauty queen has been locked up in the back of the squad car with the evidence camera turned on. It's her chance to shine. She could plead her innocence, make a challenging and thoughtful philosophical statement.
I hate you motherfuckers.
Instead, she pops out her dentures. Charming. They don't call this redneck country for nothing. Let's have a quick reminder of the mistakes made by our crooks. A boozy lunch got this lady banged up. A nighttime joyride got this biker busted. Televisual technology took this guy down. And this princess's profanities got her put away. Be careful out there.